Yeah, there it is. Eels 38 defeat West Tigers 22. Fletch, a heap of talking points out of this game. Firstly, Mitch Moses. They were playing a different side, the West Tigers, yesterday to the Parramatta that started the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You just put one player in and everyone just gains confidence. Look, it's a fair player going in there. You're New South Wales and Australian halfback. But he was brilliant. We spoke to him last week. He said he was just excited to get back out there, and everyone just fed off him. Dylan Brown was very good. Iyongi at the back. I thought Junior Barlaw, that was his best game all year.
I agree.
For the Tigers, no matter how you sort of unwrap it, the Galvin thing, like people say, nah, they're professionals, they can just move on. That had to play an issue. And it looked like that in the first half, especially, I felt. But Parramatta were the better team, and congratulations. 7 tries they scored. They couldn't get out of their own way 3 weeks ago. So Mitch Moses, very, very good.
Straight back into Origin?
Oh, you'd think we asked him as well. So, mate, can you play 6? And he says, yeah, love to play 6. So, Nathan, and if everyone stays fit, you would expect that's going to be the halves combination.
That's exciting.
I mean, you're a Burton man.
No, I think it's got to be Moses after the series he had last year.
Yeah,
I think it's got to be Moses. Hey, just a question yesterday. This caught my eye. So Lachlan Galvin pulls out, and Jerome Luai wears.
He didn't pull out. He got dropped.
Well, he gets dropped. Jerome Luai wears the number 6 in that game.
Yeah.
Was that an up yours to Lachlan Galvin, or was that just a coincidence?
I think it was just a coincidence. Dewey was playing 7. He was the organizer. Luai does like the 6 jersey, obviously.
Yes.
That's what he was at Penrith, but no. You're reading too much into this. You're reading way too much into this.
Am I reading too much into saying Turuva looked like he was playing angry?
He was very angry. He's got that in him. He's got that anger or arrogance or A-gradeness, as we. But he's always done that. When you're winning, you can. There's been players previously when they're winning, they're very good at doing that.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Wendell. But it can backfire, and he was frustrated. Frustrated. They got under his skin. Definitely.
Would that result have been different if Lachlan Galvin played?
I think it would have been a lot closer, yes. I feel it would have been. That was all the talk. For the last 7 days, we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
I did read that Benji may backflip and put him in next week.
If you were Benji, would you pick him?
Definitely. I would have picked him last week.
So there seems to be 2 trains of thought. One, and I spoke to Matty about this the other day, he says you always pick your best 17, and Galvin's in their best 17 every day of the week. And the other one is, the other train of thought is you need camaraderie and harmony within the team to get a good result.
You do. That obviously is all part of it. But at the end of the day, once you get out there, you want to win. And the Tigers to win need him at 6 if they want to make the semi-finals. Now, it's pretty clear that they're agitating for a release now.
Yeah.
Especially with the bullying legal letter that was sent.
The legal letter, yeah.
That's my issue, is this tenable? That's another word that's been used quite widely. Now whether or not that's Lockie doing this or his management, it's pretty obvious it's his management. They want to get out now.
Yeah.
And Shane Richardson has said no. And that's fair enough. It'll all die down next week once he gets back into but they've got to win next week.
Have you ever been at a club with a player who has signed for a team the following year and is still playing with you?
Yeah.
Distraction?
No
issues?
No dramas. Well, look at we had Reece Robson on here. He's signed with the Chooks. Now, we've known this. Yeah. They've gone on a bit of a run. This has been played out so badly.
What about when a player's at loggerheads with a club publicly? Like it feels like DCE and Manly situation has been a distraction as well. It felt like the Dylan Brown Parramatta situation was a distraction. The same thing with all 3 clubs is there was a little bit of tension between club and player.
Yeah. You've just got to, you've got to sit down with everyone and get it out of the way. That's what happens in any relationship. Yeah. Sit there and you can just sit there, you can just chat about it, and then whispers happen. You've got to get on the front foot.
Yeah.
And I know Lachlan Galvin got on the front foot, apparently what he said didn't go too well with the players. No. Now, whether because he's only 19 and he couldn't articulate it correctly, but Tigers as well. Like, I thought that was when the Tigers statement came out and was in capital letters. We will not be granting him a release. Like, I found that a bit petty.
It's heavy.
Like, maybe they could have waited until November, get this out of the way. You know,
Brooksy, would you take him at the Dragons?
Of course. Yes.
Well, here's a question for you, Fletch. If you were playing in another club and Lachlan Galvin subsequently comes to your club from the Tigers after everything that's gone on, will they treat him differently because of what's happened?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's not Lockie. It's not Lachlan Galvin doing all this. Unless he is an absolute genius at 19 years of age, it's pretty clear they're agitating for release to go somewhere next year to get more money because he's not on enough money as that. But they signed the deal 3 years ago.
You think it was going to play out like this? Win, he stays in reserve grade. They keep the same side until they lose. They've lost. They're making the change back to Lockie being at 6. Like, that was always going to play out. And as a fan, you sort of just want to see the three things. You want performance, you want effort, and you want leadership out there. And I'm sure he's going to be able to do that when he comes back. Like you said, Fletch, like, everyone's goal is to be...
Yeah. You want to
win the premiership, make finals, win premierships. I think everyone's on the same page there in terms of on the field. Yeah. Off the field, everyone's going to have individual situations.
You have clicks.
That's what you got, salary caps. You got all that stuff. Like, it's a really tough situation for him to be in. But I think all he can do now is get on the field, show a bit of effort. Fans get behind him. They understand they've got him for 18 months. It'll be sweet. Like, we do get swept up in the week and what happens. Like, it was pretty crazy last week.
Do you feel he'll be there 2026?
No. I don't know. But we're only looking at it through a week.
Yeah.
Like, as the season goes on, if the Tigers keep winning, like, let's say he gets back in the team and they keep winning, he stays there for 18 months. But if the losses rack up, there's a chance by the time November 1 comes around, there's probably going to be a switch deal or something go on where he'll be leaving in 2026.
I feel he's gone.
It might play out that way.
All right. Tigers take on the Sharks Sunday afternoon, 4:05 p.m, Leichhardt Oval. That will be interesting. The Warriors, 20, defeated the Broncos, 18. This was a bizarre game, to say the least. Yeah,
the Golden Point, I just cannot believe two halves have had that much experience. Benny Hunt went to... It was coming so he was on one side. I saw Reynolds on one side. Ben Hunt into dummy half. Reece Walsh was ready to take it, and he just fumbles the ball, and I cannot. And then they kick out in the full. They were the better side though. The Warriors, they handled the wet a lot better. I like how they were just playing as you do in wet weather football. You change of direction, and that's now 2 weeks in a row. The Brisbane forwards. Well, they've been out-muscled. They got beaten by the Chooks, and the Warriors, they were just winning the battle through the middle. It was, Benny Hunt didn't have the greatest of games. And I saw him get put into hooker, and Billy Wallers went to 6. So now they got your mob.
They do. And Reece Walsh is out.
Yeah.
I think it was MCL or PCL.
Yeah, I think it's an MCL. Is it MCL? A lot of these.
One of those varieties. It wasn't the A.
No,
that's the main thing.
That's right.
That's the main thing. So he's looking at 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's a big blow for them. So
you reckon Cobbo to fullback?
They
got any youngsters?
Probably. Well,
they used to have Tristan Saylor,
well, Dean Marin will come back into the side, you would think.
That's pretty handy backup.
And Selwyn at fullback. Yeah, that most likely. What about Jesse playing a pitcher?
Oh, yeah.
He's always been a winger, though, hasn't he? Selwyn, probably the logical choice.
All right, the Panthers 40 defeat the Roosters 12. This was quite the turnaround from their first encounter.
Yeah, so I was out at this game, and crowd was quite poor, considering it's the Penrith Panthers, who are 4-time premiership winners. It was just, there was no atmosphere out there. But the second half, they turned it on. They just started to click.
Yeah.
So when you sort of, the first 6 weeks, they weren't getting the bounce the ball, but they just kept persevering, and Nathan's kicking game. They kicked the Chooks off the park. Chooks were in it. It was a try before half-time where they went down Marky Mark's side. He's still got a few deficiencies in defence, but he'll get better. But his attack, he was most threatening for the Chooks. I feel that the Chooks have now played them into form. I can see Penrith winning a few more before the bye.
Okay. Dylan Edwards, one of the players that came into form.
Yeah, he was good. He was very good.
Is he straight into your Origin side?
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. Teddy number 2, if that happens, and then Pappenhausen probably 3. But how can you drop? I just can't get over people thinking, oh, you got to drop. Someone said, oh, drop Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Fair income. What are these people watching?
What about just on the Roosters? We'll find out shortly on Team List Tuesday. Are we Team List Tuesday this week because it's a shorter week? We are.
Tourist has got a haircut. Why aren't you doing it, Tourist?
I'm doing it. I've just not got a haircut and no shirt today. I just forgot.
I know.
Yeah.
It's looking weird with those nipples.
Yeah.
What's doing with them?
Extra hard.
Why are they so pink? Looks like a piglet's tail.
That's my father.
Team List Tuesday. I think Billy Smith only got a 1-week suspension, didn't he? So he should be back.
Yep.
Well, how do you fit Billy Smith, Marky Mark, Robert Toya, Dom Young, and Daniel Tupou in?
Well,
who misses?
Billy Smith goes straight in
right
to left centre.
Uh-huh.
I would give Dom Young a spell, and I would put Marky Mark on the dingaling.
I like it. It will be very interesting to see which way Trent Robinson goes. Friday, yes, Good Friday. Bulldogs 32 defeat the Rabbitohs 0. The best start to the comp in 87 years for the Bulldogs.
It was so good. How good was the crowd? Broke the record, 65. Was it 65? It ended up being 65,000. That was
65,000.
It was awesome. And I like what they did. I like how they walked across the stadium from the hotel. Now, people say, wankers and stuff, they've done nothing in 20 years. I just thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I've worked out their defence, though. I've worked out how they slow the ruck down. No, they just work so hard. So it's always 3-man and tackle that they're all doing.
Yep.
But they just get off. So, I suppose I'm not giving away the secrets. You can watch it. But they just defend, and you watch how they play the ball. The second marker, what the second marker does. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
Just next time they play, watch what the second marker does. It's awesome.
Are you in camp premiership window or still a season too soon?
No, I'm in. I'm all in.
They could?
Yeah, of course they could.
Yeah.
Only going to finish in the top 4.
I was watching that Parramatta game yesterday. I couldn't help but think, King's birthday, Bulldogs play Parramatta at a core. Could they beat the 65K?
Ooh.
If Parramatta come good over the next couple of weeks, that is.
It'd be hard.
There were not many South fans there on the day. I tell you, I reckon max 5,000 South fans.
Really?
Yep.
Hang on.
Yep, I was out there.
Sleazy Sam's saying it.
I was out there.
Sleazy straight from Misty's massage out there at Enmore Road. He's giving me the nod. Yeah, okay. Well, when is it? What's the date?
King's birthday.
Monday, June the 9th.
June the 9th. There we go.
Is that his legit birthday? Is that a legit birthday?
That's a good question. I don't know.
No, I'm going to say no.
No?
I'm still going to say no.
All right. Exciting game nonetheless. Dolphins 40. This was the biggest upset of the round. Dolphins 42 defeat the Storm 22. 40 unanswered points.
I went to bed 16-2 when Pappenhausen ducked down that short side. I said, see you, Dolphins. Then I wake up the next morning and Isaiah Katoa just went berserk. Fraser McGurk. What a player.
That's where I hope the Dolphins get either DCE or Galvin. One or the other. I just want to see the Dolphins take that next step. I like the Dolphins.
Well, we've got them in the, I think we crowed. I got them in the 8. Joel and I had them in the 8. So I'm hoping.
They're coming good. They're looking better.
How good's Herbie going? And Averillo.
Yeah.
I didn't realise Averillo was that quick.
Yeah, he's quick. He could play wing, I reckon.
No, they're going good. They missed Harry Grant. I mean, any team would miss Harry Grant, but Melbourne were just a bit flat in the second half. And congratulations, Dolphins.
All right, the Sharks 34 defeat the Knights 14. Another halves combination for the Knights. Still not many points.
No, and they've kept Kalen quiet the last couple of weeks. So I don't know what they're going to do out there. They just can't. I mean, they got the 14 points, but that was late in the game. They're just struggling at the moment with their attack. It looks like they've put so much effort in there to their defence, they've forgotten how to play.
They are defending. Well, this game was probably an anomaly in that sense.
Yeah,
they had been defending really well.
Well, the Sharks they're coming good, the Sharkies, and I'm just looking at this bet, the Chrissy from Walls End, and no
Queanbeyan
good.
race 5.
Number 3.
No luck.
Sorry.
Just on the Knights, would they have been concerned? So watching Dylan Brown yesterday, I couldn't help but think that was a different player.
Yep.
To the Dylan Brown we'd seen the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, well, look.
With a controlling halfback and him freed up to just run the ball, he's a gun.
Yes, he is, but he won't be going to Newcastle doing that.
He'll be going as a controlling halfback.
As a controlling halfback, yeah. So he's going to have to learn quick smart.
Heavy days.
Well, playing along Mitch Moses, maybe he may get some confidence and ideas about how to do it, but that's his role. If you're getting paid $1.3 million a year, you're the main man. You can't just sort of roll off the back of someone else. He's going to be the man.
Yeah, he has to be. When you look at the teams at the bottom of the ladder, you've got Newcastle, Para, and Chooks on 2 wins. Knights feel like they're under the most pressure. I know Chooks have been hot and cold, but they have beaten some solid sides.
Yeah.
But the Knights, the spotlight's on them.
Yeah, and it always is. They sort of come good. This is the last couple of years they've snuck into the 8. But Kalen was doing everything. At the moment, he's quiet.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's is he in a form slump, or is it just the defence have just worked out that wherever Kalen is, the ball goes. They're missing Dylan Lucas.
Yeah,
missing Dylan Lucas on the edge.
Raiders 30 defeat the Titans 20. Hudson Young gets the triple-double.
2 players in the history of doing this, 3 consecutive games, Beaver Menzies.
And
Hudson Young. Beaver would have just strolled into gaps created by Kevy. Like Hudson had to really work for his. Like Beaver's jumper was clean after the game. Cliffy, sorry, not Kevy.
Can you fit him?
Kevy Lyons? Clifford Lyons.
Can you fit Hudson in your Origin side?
Damn straight you can.
How, where, why?
Probably on the bench.
Yeah.
Probably on the bench. Arne Edna's got to be picked.
So you give Gus or Crichton, or
Liam Martin
a bit of a rest at some point?
Liam Martin and Angus.
Starting.
Isaiah at lock.
Hudson coming
on off the bench.
In the second row?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they can all play in the middle now. Angus, I think, last year played a little bit.
No Hamoli or Jacob Preston?
We've been blessed, but at the moment, I feel that
now.
the incumbents have got the rails run, and Hudson he's been there before. Probably didn't. I don't know whether they used him correctly or we just sort of, but his form is irresistible. He's got to be in the side.
I'm with you. The last game, Dragons 20 defeat the Sea Eagles 18. They're 1-3 since the DCE announcement.
Yep. Now Gutho. How good's Gutho going? Brooksy? He should be. Yeah, he wants to re-sign.
Number 1 signing of the year, Brooksy reckons.
Yeah. Just gives him that energy. Gives him the energy, and he's competitive. Toby Couchman was outstanding the first 15 minutes, his first stanza. They're doing some good things.
Where are the Eagles?
Oh, geez,
they're a frustrating side, aren't they?
You saw what they did against the Cowboys in that early on, and they just blew Canberra away. Definitely the DCE things has had a effect on them.
They're one of my bunny sides when it comes for punting.
Can't touch them.
Geez, they're just
usually at home.
I know
they're a safe bet.
Yep.
Chances are you're about to lose. You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.